guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the brand new Adidas Messi 10.1 in what has been nicknamed the MIROSAR10 colorway. Now, as you can see, it does come in your standard Messi box with his logo there in orange on the top. Open it up, and on the inside, you can see it's all teal in color, has a little divider right there in the middle to separate the two shoes, and on the underside of the lid, you got Messi's logo again, and then this cool kind of map pattern with a soccer field there in bright orange. More details on that a little bit later in the video. But as you guys can see inside the box, the two shoes are in separate compartments, and that's all you get. These do not come with any extras, which is kind of unusual because normally with a synthetic pair of F50 Adizeros, Messi or not, they include an extra set of insoles, but these are not technically F50 Adizeros. This is the Messi 10.1, so instead of this being a new signature colorway, this is officially Messi's new signature model. What does this mean for the future of the F50 Adizero? Only time will tell. We don't really know. And as you guys can see, this is not too far off from a standard F50, which is something we're going to be talking about in today's video. For those that are unclear on this particular change, this shoe is officially called the Messi 10.1, with the 10.1 signifying that this is the top end model or the equivalent of an F50 Adizero. There's a 10.2 model, which would be the equivalent of an F30, and a 10.3 model, which would be the equivalent of an F10. So in today's video, we're going to take a closer look at the colorway, of course, go over all the tech specs, take a look at how these things fit, and ultimately come to the conclusion as to whether or not this counts as a signature shoe or it's just a new colorway or a renaming of the standard Messi F50 Adizero. So if you're interested in the details, stick around, and with that being said, let's get right into the review. To start things off, let's talk about the colorway. Now, as you'd expect with a signature colorway, or in this particular situation, a signature shoe, it does have some backstory. Now, this color scheme is supposed to represent Messi's roots as a soccer player, where he's from, where he grew up playing, where he learned to play the game. And the nickname for the shoe, like I mentioned earlier, is MIROSAR10, with the I and the O in Rosario being a number 1 and a number 0, obviously representing his number 10. So that's why it's like that. It's not a mistake in the title or anything like that. This is actually what Adidas has released to the public as the official name for this colorway. Now, Rosario is the city in Argentina where Messi grew up, so that's why it's MIROSAR10. I believe it's translation from Spanish or something like that, where obviously it would imply my city, my Rosario. So the colors that they put on the shoe have an interesting backstory, I guess, to a certain extent. It represents Messi's first ever soccer club that he played for, which was orange in color, and to represent that, they incorporated a solar orange color, which essentially is bright orange. And then to represent his first team's rival team, they put on this power teal color, or like a greenish blue. The two colors definitely do clash. It does have that really standout, vibrant effect. I wasn't too crazy about them just based on the pictures that I saw online, but in person, I will say that they look a lot better. And if you're looking to stand out, this colorway is definitely going to do that for you. Kind of has that digi-camo vibe about it. You can see when you get up close, you have the little extra detail on like a red outline, kind of in the orange, and then you have these little lighter green lines in the actual power teal areas of the shoe. It reminds me a little bit of like an Etch-a-Sketch or something like that, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Some of you may, some of you may not. Those little things where it's a screen and you turn the two knobs, and it kind of draws a line, but you can't really curve edges or anything like that. That's what this pattern on the upper reminds me of. I honestly don't think it looks too bad. Again, it looks a little bit better in person than I was expecting. And again, if you're looking to stand out, this is definitely going to do that for you. You have the power teal in the laces, the Messi branding on the back of the heel in white, and then of course your Adidas stripes on either side in white as well. You can see that pattern continues into the heel liner, and then the insole has another interesting element here, which I'll give you guys a quick look at. It actually has a top-down view of Messi's town, Rosario. This is like a map style print, as you guys can see, and this is apparently supposed to represent where Messi used to play. Apparently there's an abandoned military base in the town of Rosario, or the city of Rosario, and there's a soccer field that was set up there, and they would sneak in through the fence and play, and that's what this is supposed to represent. I'm not sure. Here, actually, the two insoles are a little bit different, so I'll pull it out so maybe you guys can see the full map, because I didn't even realize this until now. But there it is. There's the full map. There's obviously the soccer field where they used to play. Kind of a cool idea for the insoles. I like that they're both different from each other. And again, just ties in with the colorway quite nicely if you ask me. And then of course, like I said, the sprint frame is that power teal color. clear studs in the heel as well as in the center of the forefoot, and then your orange studs all the way around, as you guys can see. So that's pretty much it as far as the colorway is concerned, what it's all about. Leave your opinions on it down below in the comment section. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Why or why not? And next we're going to get onto the tech specs and performance elements of the new Messi 10.1. Whenever we see a new model released, we expect differences as far as the design is concerned and differences when it comes to performance. In the case of the new Messi 10.1, side by side with the Messi F50 Adizero, it's very difficult to see any differences aside from the colorway. So the answer to the question as whether or not the F50 Adizero and Messi 10.1 perform differently, the answer to that question is honestly no. I've had the opportunity to wear both of these two shoes, and like I said, they feel pretty much identical on feet. But with that being said, there are some minor tweaks or changes, I guess, that have been made to the Messi 10.1 that you won't find on the standard F50 Adizero that I'm going to be pointing out right now. Now, there are 5 differences in total that I noticed when coming from the F50 Adizero to the Messi 10.1. The first difference is actually the cut of the sides of the laces here in between the tongue. So you can see going down the side here, there's a little slit cut out right there on the lateral side, one more slit at the bottom, a slit mirrored on the medial side, and then one more slit right there, and it's completely straight going up the side. On the Messi 10.1, you can see it's straight going down either side, both lateral and medial, and then right here at the base of the forefoot, you have one large slit, and basically all that slit is there to do is to eliminate any kind of excess material and prevent the material from actually bulging up and folding on itself when your foot actually bends. So again, a very, very minor difference, but something worth pointing out. The second difference that you're going to notice actually has to do with the upper. Now, both of these shoes are made from hybrid touch synthetic, the same thickness, it's very thin, it's very, very soft, it moves naturally with your foot, and it really does provide a nice premium barefoot sensation. One of the best thin soccer shoes currently out there on the market. So that is not something that has been eliminated going from the standard F50 to the Messi 10.1. Both the same synthetic, both can provide a very similar barefoot touch on the ball. The one thing that is different is that on a lot of the F50 Adizeros, aside from the first couple of colorways that had that dribble text texturing on the surface of the upper, the later Messi colorways really didn't have any texturing at all, apart from the leather grain there on the finish. But on this new Messi 10.1, all of these red kind of zigzag graphics here in the actual orange is a dribble text texturing. So it does have that nice 3D effect, almost like a slightly rubberized, grippy feel. So it will provide extra grip on the ball that you wouldn't normally get with the standard F50 Adizero. So again, both the same one-piece hybrid touch synthetic upper, no speed foil synthetic to be found anywhere on the shoe. And like I said, the only major difference here is going to be the actual texturing on the surface of the Messi 10.1, which will provide a very minor amount of extra grip on the ball that you wouldn't normally get with the standard F50. The third change that I noticed is actually here in the lace holes. You can see on a standard F50, they're laced up pretty ordinarily. There's really no interesting aspects about it. Laces start at the bottom and at the top. On the Messi 10.1, they start at the bottom and at the top, but they give you 2 extra lace holes. So there are 3 lace holes in total at the very top of the shoe. The first one ends where the actual F50 Adizeros would normally end, and then you have 2 extra ones. Those 2 extra ones are going to allow you to, if you want, use them and allow you to get that really nice locked-in feel inside of the shoe. This is something I wish more companies and more shoes would actually have, just because if you don't have that locked-in feel from using just the regular top lace hole, you can go down a lace hole or go down 2 lace holes, even use all 3, and get a really, really locked-in sensation, especially in the heel, just giving you a really good stable feel inside of your shoe. So again, something that I like that they've incorporated on the Messi 10.1, and out of all the minor differences, I would say these extra lace holes are going to have the biggest impact on the overall performance, believe it or not. So that is how barely different the F50 Adizero and the Messi 10.1 actually are from each other, if the lace holes are what's going to have the biggest impact on performance differences between the 2 shoes. The fourth difference that I noticed is the back of the heel. So you can see that the standard F50 Adizero has more of a rectangular kind of squared off look here at the back, whereas the Messi 10.1 is slightly more rounded and ever so slightly lower. Again, a very, very minor difference, not even something that you really notice on feet, but visually they are a little bit different and worth pointing out. And the fifth and final difference between these 2 shoes is actually going to be the insoles. Like I mentioned, these only come with 1 set of insoles. I already gave you guys a quick look at them. They have a mesh lining on top with that graphic, and it's made from a single layer of of this black foam. It's got a different pattern on the bottom than you would normally find with F50s, but this is essentially the equivalent of a comfort insole that you would find on a standard pair of F50 Adizeros. The one downside with the Messi 10.1 is they only include one set inside the shoe as opposed to two sets that you would normally get with an F50. So not sure why Adidas made that choice, but it is the call that they made. And again, just keep in mind that if you buy the Messi 10.1, you only get one set of insoles as opposed to two with the F50 Adizero. But again, the performance differences between the two insoles are very, very minor, if negligible. There really isn't a difference in my opinion. So that's pretty much it as far as the changes and differences are concerned. Other than that, just minor details that I didn't go over. It does have a synthetic leather liner, so nothing too unusual there. Same amount of padding, I would say. And then of course the exact same sprint frame. So the external heel counter, which is one piece with the sole plate, MyCoach compatibility, and of course the latest 2014 F50 Adizero stud pattern with the triangular studs in the heel and the bladed triangular studs in the forefoot. So as far as underfoot sensation and just traction in general is concerned, there's really no difference between both of these two shoes. So if you've worn the 2014 F50 Adizero, you liked what you got as far as performance is concerned, you're going to feel right at home with the Messi 10.1 because like I said, the differences between the two are just very, very minor. As far as weight is concerned, I thought it would be fun to compare the standard Messi F50 Adizero to the Messi 10.1 just to see if there was any difference in weight. Obviously they feature a very similar construction, so the difference should be very minor, but for the sake of comparison, I'm going to weigh both versions for you today in real time. Both of these are in brand new condition, and both of them are a size 9 US. So we'll start off with the Messi F50 Adizero with the lightweight insole. We'll throw it on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 5.75 ounces, one of the lightest shoes currently out there on the market. We'll take that off the scale. We'll throw on the Messi 10.1, and as you guys can see, these guys weigh in at 6.35 ounces, so they're about half an ounce more than the Messi F50 Adizero with the lightweight insole, and a lot of that extra weight on the Messi 10.1 has to do with the insole. It's significantly more padded and much more kind of heavy duty in comparison to the lightweight insole that I have here in the Messi F50 Adizero. So again, is this a noticeable amount of weight on feet? Honestly, no. And the other kind of factor that I kind of noticed as far as the difference in weight is concerned is that the Messi 10.1 just seems to have a little bit more extra padding in the heel area of the shoe versus what you find on the standard F50. So again, the weight difference between these two shoes is very, very minor. If you're looking for that ultra comfortable weightless sensation on your feet, then the F50 Adizero or the Messi 10.1 are absolutely fantastic options. So here's a look at the Messi 10.1s on feet. And in terms of how these things fit and feel, again, as you might have guessed, they fit and feel pretty much exactly like the 2014 F50 Adizero. There's no major differences here. Like I mentioned earlier, the only thing that's going to have an impact on the overall feel of this shoe versus the standard F50 are those extra lace holes. So you can see on my left foot here, I skipped the second lace hole and I went directly to the third. And on my right foot, I just used the second lace hole. And using these extra lace holes, like I said, really does have a pretty significant impact on the locked in sensation that you get when you pull the laces tight. If heel slippage is something that you struggle with, definitely look for a pair of shoes with those extra lace holes because it really will help you cut down on any kind of movement on the inside of the shoe. A really nice touch, and I'm glad they incorporated it on this particular model. As far as the rest of the shoe is concerned, the overall fit is like you'd expect from an F50 Adizero. It's a tighter fitting shoe, but not overly narrow by any means. It is hybrid touch, so it will give you some stretch after several hours of wear time. But again, if they don't fit you comfortably from right out of the box, it's probably not the best option. And if you do have wider feet, synthetic shoes in general, especially ultra lightweight ones like this, aren't the best option either. But if you've worn F50s in the past, these will still fit you. And overall, as far as thin barefoot feel soccer shoes are concerned, these are one of the more comfortable and better fitting ones currently out there on the market. As far as sizing is concerned, I'm wearing my usual size 9 US here, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these, go with the same size that you wore in the 2014 F50 Adizero, or just go true to size for the best possible fit. Alright guys, this is my review of the Adidas Messi 10.1. This is a very good shoe simply because it's an F50 Adizero. It's been out for a year now, it's a proven model, and essentially this is more or less a marketing scheme from Adidas, rebranding the shoe from F50 Adizero to Messi 10.1. I'm glad that Messi is finally getting a signature shoe. Other than him, the only other athlete that I can think of in the soccer world that has had a signature shoe was Ronaldinho with the Tiempo 10R. I think Messi is fully deserving of a signature model, but this is kind of a poor attempt by Adidas. They just, like I said, changed the name of the shoe and didn't really give him anything particularly unique. Yes, it's a good shoe. Yes, it's a great performer, but it's at the end of the day a 2014 F50 Adizero. And if you're looking for that type of shoe and you like how this colorway looks, you like the theme, you're a fan of Messi perhaps, then this is, like I said, definitely a shoe that I can strongly recommend. What does this mean for future Messi 10.1 models or the future of the F50 Adizero, the rest of the F50 Adizero line? Honestly, there's a lot of question marks right now. I guess you can leave your opinions down below in the comment section, but at the end of the day, the Messi 10.1 is just another colorway of the F50 Adizero with some very, very minor tweaks. So as far as the full written review is concerned, my current review of the Messi version of the F50 still applies to the Messi 10.1, so no new review or anything like that, no play test. It really isn't necessary since this is essentially the same shoe. If you guys want to check out the review page on my website, see that detailed written review, I'll leave a link to the review page down below in the description. You also find the high quality images as well as buy it now links with the best prices online, including exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you can actually pick these up below their retail price. So be sure to check that out. Link down below in the description. Also leave some annotations on screen to other Messi F50 Adizero related videos that I have up on the channel if you guys want to see more info in video form. Other than that though, guys, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, leave those down below in the comment section. I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. That'd be greatly appreciated. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information down below as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.